The most insane twist ever possible. The case of Julie Kibuishi. Case number 3. The Julie Kibuishi murder case gained attention in February 2010. When the young woman was discovered dead, her acquaintance Samuel Hare, an ex-veteran, was initially thought to be the murderer and later accused. Her body was found in Sam Hare's apartment, but he wasn't there. Do you think the military background of Sam had something to do with his decisions? Let us know. Subscribe to our channel True Crime Network for more related content. Hold on to your seats as we dive further into the crime. Julie was a young and promising student who had met an untimely death. She was found dead with 2 gunshots to her head in her friend's apartment. The investigation began when Julie's mother woke up one day and couldn't find her daughter in her room or anywhere in the house. Meanwhile, Sam, who was an Afghanistan veteran, could not be found by his parents. His father tried contacting him multiple times, but he never picked up the phone. Concerned for his son, Sam's father went to his apartment to make sure his son was alright. Upon entering the apartment, he found Julie face down on the bed with some clothes torn off her back and blood everywhere. She was shot 2 times in the head without any incriminating evidence of struggle. He immediately dialed 911. The initial investigation led them to believe that Sam Hare was the prime suspect, as they found text on Julie's phone that indicated he had invited her over to his place for the night. However, as more details about the case emerged, it became clear that there was more to the story than initially believed. The investigation of the homicide was complex, challenging, as well as misleading. The police questioned all of their mutual friends, who were shocked to say that Sam, who was very outgoing and social, could ever do something so heinous. Everyone was in shock. Such incidents rarely happened in Orange County, as it was a rather picturesque county that attracted a great deal of tourism. Sam's background as a 26-year-old veteran only threw more shade on him. Many blamed it on war PTSD for having served many years on the borders of Afghanistan. Sam being nowhere to be found only made him more suspicious. The investigation team was frantic in their search for Sam. They were careful to try and plan to be 2 steps ahead of Sam, who had first-hand experience having worked in the field. Frustrated and saddened by the disappearance of his son, Sam's father took it upon himself to try and find him. Sam had an ample amount of money in his bank account, and his father was closely monitoring the activity in his account. It revealed that Sam had been using his credit card to withdraw money 20 miles away from Orange County. He decided to drive around to search for his son or find any evidence that Sam was there. He searched for his car everywhere but could not find anything that would lead to him. Credit card activity suggested that he was using money at a pizza shop nearby. On reaching there, he looked around for his son but could not find him or anyone that had anything to do with him. If you are looking for an alibi, shoot the subscribe button. Don't forget to like and share this video with your friends. Now, let us get back to the story. By this point, the police were also alerted to his credit card activity. Upon retrieving the tapes from the pizza shop, they found someone had been using his credit card. They were on the hunt for a murderer and veteran Samuel Hare, who was a threat to the streets of Orange County. The police tracked down the cardholder and found him to be a 17-year-old high schooler who apparently had no idea who Sam Hare was. Of course, the most obvious reasons hovered on the teen's mind. They had concluded either the boy had stolen it or was a close acquaintance of Hare. But upon further investigation, it came to light that he had no prior knowledge as to who Hare was, and neither did he steal the card. Apparently, the credit card was given to him by Daniel Wozniak, a community theater actor who also happened to be Sam's neighbor. Wozniak was the director of a musical. He was known for his friendly demeanor and was often called the life of the party. He was great friends with Sam, which naturally led the police to believe that Wozniak was involved somehow. By now, the investigation team headed over to question Wozniak, who would be married in 2 days. They found him hanging out drinking beer with his friends at his bachelor party. When he saw them, the color drained out from his face. The officers described his appearance as that of a pale ghost, shocked to see them inside the bar. He was arrested and taken into police custody to be questioned on his involvement with Sam Hare. He initially denied any involvement with Sam or having any part in Julie Kibuishi's murder. As the questioning progressed, Daniel found himself trying to convince the police by webbing many stories which made no sense. Later, he admitted that Sam, after killing Julie, turned up on his doorstep. He admitted to having done something bad in a fit of rage and asked to be dropped off someplace far. When Daniel denied his request, Sam demanded that he help him. He also admitted that Sam had threatened him and his fiancée into helping him cover the murder. Wozniak assumed that this would lay the police off his back, but little did he know that being an accomplice to a murder was not seen lightly. First, he denied having anything to do with the murder, but later when he was asked for a DNA swab to match any trace of the murderer's DNA that was left on the crime scene, he lost his cool. He then admitted to having been in Sam's apartment and that he saw Julie's dead body. He described having seen 2 gunshot wounds in her head, which confused the investigators as they were only able to identify a singular wound. Later autopsy results revealed that she had been in fact shot twice in the head. This confirmed that Daniel was present in the room while she was murdered. The investigators bombarded Daniel with countless questions after finding out about this information. After several hours of questioning, Wozniak finally admitted to the murders of both Samuel Hare and Julie Kibuishi. He was confident he could convince the police with his acting skills. Apparently, Wozniak was making little income from his theater performances. He had borrowed from a lot of his friends and was struggling to pay them back. He was soon to be evicted from his apartment as he was 2 months behind on paying rent. On top of it all, he was getting married in a week, but his pride got in the way of him hosting a small wedding. He wanted a grand function. In his conversation with Sam, he came to know that Sam had around $60,000 in his account. Daniel, along with his fiancée, Rachel Buffett, who was a fellow actor, plotted to murder his neighbor to host their wedding party. Daniel called Sam with the prospect of helping him move some boxes. They went inside the attic of a nearby theater where Daniel formally performed. As Sam bends down to lift the boxes, Wozniak shoots him in the head. Even after the first shot, he was still conscious enough to ask for help. That is when Daniel aimed at his head again, killing him. Samuel Hare died in that attic, asking his own murderer for help. Daniel then proceeded to dismember the body and dispose of it in different locations. Police found parts of his torso in the Liberty Theater at Los Alamitos Joint Forces Training Base where Daniel had previously worked. You may now be wondering, out of everyone else, why did Julie end up getting murdered? He had to come up with a plan to hide his tracks. Daniel knew Julie was tutoring Sam. She was more than a tutor to him. They were close and shared a very special friendship. Everyone who knew them knew of their bond. Daniel texted Julie from Sam's phone and invited her to his apartment. Concerned for Sam, Julie went to his apartment and saw Daniel waiting there. He convinced her that he had a spare key to the apartment and they both went in. He shot her twice in the head. He pulled down her clothes to make it seem as if there had been an attempt at sexual assault. 2 hours after killing Julie, Daniel performed as the lead at a local theater. He was convinced the police would hunt for Sam and would never show up for him. Daniel tried his very best not to get caught. After questioning, he was put in a cell where he requested to make a call to his fiancée, Rachel. He received yet another blow to the face when she informed him that the call was being recorded. He had admitted to having evidence of the murder in a bag which Rachel had to hand over to his brother. Defeated, he then requested to speak with the investigators and proceeded to admit his crimes. 23-year-old Julie Kibuishi was just an accessory to a murder cover-up, and her friend Samuel Hare was dead all along while the police were on the lookout for him. 5 years later, Orange County Supreme Court judge sentenced Wozniak to death. But later, the Californian government placed a moratorium on the death penalty, thereby preventing Wozniak from facing an execution. Rachel Buffett was sentenced to 32 months in prison for being an accessory in the murder case. Later on the day of his birthday, police found Samuel's head where Daniel had buried it. Do you think the punishment they got was appropriate? Share your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you want to see more videos like this, don't forget to check out our channel, True Crime Network, for more crime-related content.